Hey guys, what is going on? You're checking out an all new The RCWR show coming at you for Monday night of November 11, 2019. How the hell y'all been, man? One and only Lee Sanders here. Thank you guys so much for checking out tonight's episode. Oh, man, I know Monday Night Raw was pre-taped, but if you're kind of like me, within recent years, I don't think I've seen a Raw spoiler in about maybe 3 years. Might be a little bit longer than that. I try to go into it even though these things are taped, just, okay, let's see what they got. Man, I gotta tell you, for a Veterans Day edition episode, pretty much a holiday episode of Monday Night Raw, this was definitely one, if you didn't watch it yet, maybe you forgot to hit that record, you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. I'll put it to you this way. I think a lot of the stuff that we saw on Monday Night Raw tonight, particularly the Lana segment, and we'll talk a lot about that Lana segment in a little bit. I would like to believe the AEW diehards right now are kind of going, well, you know what? Yeah, about that main event match. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to compare, yeah, we'd rather just deal with that hardcore match Omega and Moxley had. We'll take that any day over that Lana segment. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, hey, hope you guys had a great weekend, man. Mine was definitely pretty good. We didn't get a chance to talk about AEW Full Gear. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about StarCast. Did I just refer to Full Gear as StarCast a few seconds ago? I can't recall. If I did, I'm sorry about that. But you guys knew exactly what the hell I was talking about. But yeah, we didn't really get a chance to talk about at all Full Gear, because I told you guys I was just going to kick back, allow my friends, my colleagues to put in their 2 cents. I just wanted to try to enjoy it as a fan. And I was, but I definitely am looking forward to talking about Full Gear with you all, sharing my thoughts about that overall pay-per-view event. Definitely want to talk about StarCast as well, from the few people that I reached out to and people that voluntarily gave me some information. StarCast in Baltimore was not necessarily a hit. Don't believe everything that's being put out there, people, but we'll talk all about that in just a hot second. Speaking of which, I got a poll that's up right now. I got a poll that is on YouTube over in the communities tab. Put it out there earlier today. Ties into AEW Full Gear. So I won't spoil it for you guys. Go check it out, and we'll talk about that poll a little bit later on. Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about it tonight. Yeah, this was definitely a passe type of episode. Definitely a passe type episode. Want to remind you guys, if you're having any buffering issues, lagging issues, my end is good. Just so you know, we're streaming on our RCWR show app for free in the Google Play Store. We're also streaming on Spreaker. We're also streaming in our Discord server. That's also free for you guys to join, FYI, and we're also streaming via YouTube. So Monday Night Raw tonight, it just, for me, the carrot dangling over my head, come on, and I'm sure everybody else's head. What's going on with that invasion angle? What's going on with that NXT angle? I got to get that fixed. I got to know what's going to be going down tonight. And as far as that whole NXT invasion goes, a little bit lackluster, so to speak. I think most people would be in agreement. I think even the diehard NXT fans, because let's address one elephant in the room. Raw was in the UK, once again, because remember, currently they're doing this whole UK tour and everything, but this episode was filmed hours ago already. But even when you look at key members that they tapped into for tonight's Raw from the NXT UK division, it still felt very lackluster. This was definitely a case where I wish that the NXT UK division would have been booked much stronger, with the exception of maybe Walter to a certain degree. I can almost exempt Walter from that, but yeah, tonight was just one of those. Yeah, let's talk about some key points. I don't want to go all over the place because there's loads of other stuff we can get into. And okay, so we had Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, kicking off the show and everything. addressing the fact that, hey, she's all about the challenge. She is all about defending that championship any place, anywhere. Pretty much bringing up her whole usual spiel. UK crowd eating up Becky Lynch big time. Eating it up. They were loving it. And she brings up training as a young girl in the UK, and that somehow in the midst of this whole speech, it was a good speech, it was a good promo segment that she had to open up Monday Night Raw, but she pretty much had talked about how now her eyes are set on the tag team titles, and she wants all opposition from all sides. Anybody, just bring it to her, right? And from there, we had saw the Kabuki Warriors. You know, they came out. Charlotte Flair eventually came out. Now, Charlotte Flair, she's still gunning after Becky Lynch for that women's title. All right, so we already know what Charlotte is about and everything. Kabuki Warriors, hearing Becky running her mouth, they're looking to shut her up. So this had spontaneously formed a tag match when it was all said and done. Great tag match, by the way, too, of the Kabuki Warriors taking on Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte was doing most of the brute work. And when you go back and you look at this match, it was almost as if she was trying to prove to Becky Lynch, as far as who is the better superior athlete goes, it is her. Right? After all, her bloodline, everything like that. I mean, she was showboating like I don't know what. I enjoyed that. I ate it up. This was one of those occasions where it was nice seeing Charlotte Flair amp it up a bit, because we haven't seen her quite as animated as she was tonight in a little while. And I think you definite hardcore Charlotte Flair fans would agree with that. Mostly past couple of months, she's just pretty much been coming out there looking nice and dialed up with the makeup, all of that good stuff. But other than that, she really hasn't, even when you get down to her stuff in the ring. I mean, don't get me wrong, the basic mechanics, the fundamentals and everything, all that is intact without a shadow of doubt. But when you get right down to those little mannerisms, the showboating and playing up to the crowd and all that, she dialed that back within recent months. It was actually really nice to see her bring that all back to the forefront once again. And I love the part during the match where you had little oh my god, what is that homegirl's name? I can't think of her damn partner's name right now. I know it's not Io Shirai, the little pirate girl. I like when she tried to chop the hell out of Charlotte's chest, and Charlotte just kept saying, "Come on, little girl, come on." And she just kept chopping, and each one of those chops, it was going into Charlotte's chest, and you couldn't help but go, man, don't chop them bad boys too hard, man, because if you chop them too hard, there might be a rupture. And if you have a rupture, oh man, that's the last thing you want, because then she's going to be out of it for a good minute. So, but no, luckily nothing like that had happened. But that was kind of funny to watch. It was almost kind of like watching a silly little skit from Looney Tunes or something like that. That's literally what it kind of reminded me of. But no, seriously, it was a good opening matchup. I had enjoyed that. You know, it was good. We actually saw the team. Kairi Sane is who I was thinking of, by the way, before a boatload of you guys go, Lee, I already remember. Thank you, guys. But no, it was a good opening tag team matchup. Didn't really have too much of a problem with that one. Got a couple of segments in there, too, to tell their respective stories. So I was actually pretty down with that. Let's see. Yeah, that actually was pretty good. Now, an interesting element that was thrown into that mix, Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler did another run-in. Now, this one wasn't as traditional as what she's been doing the past couple of weeks. She actually had popped up at ringside, and she was over by the color commentators. Now, the color commentators, at least for this week, if they've been doing it for the past couple of weeks now, I wouldn't know anything about it, but it seemed to me, at least for this week only, they had the commentating booth actually over at ringside. Maybe it was because of the way that arena was set up out there in the UK where they were earlier. Who knows? But I won't speculate any further. But Shayna Baszler actually popped up, was hanging out around Vic Joseph, Jerry the King Lawler, and waiting for her right moment to strike and everything. And she did strike. Matter of fact, I'm trying to think as far as like who she actually had attacked. I can't recall if she actually attacked somebody or not, but I do recall Bailey getting the jump on Shayna Baszler, staring her down and everything, looking all pissed and everything. Becky and the other girls, they were able to leave. So it was actually nice from the SmackDown forefront to see, to some extent, SmackDown kind of extracting a little bit of revenge from what NXT had did to them a couple of weeks ago, right? But for those of you that's under the impression, oh, well, surely tonight we had saw a lot more of a SmackDown injection on Raw, so to speak, because this was their opportunity to try to take a few jabs at NXT a little bit. Not so much. I think at this point you really got to home in on this Wednesday's NXT, since that's going to be more so in the States, to try to see if SmackDown is going to be more dominant on NXT, or if maybe Raw is going to run roughshod once again, right? But I mean, putting that whole segment to the side and everything, you're going, okay, well, we're off to a bit of a good start. Okay, no problem. Everything else pretty much after this, you just kind of go a little bit downhill, so to speak. Drew McIntyre was in action against Sin Cara, squash match 1, 2, 3. Of course, we're going to talk about Sin Cara later on because he had made headlines earlier today. Yeah, this was just whatever. I didn't particularly care for this one. R-Truth was trying to get back his 24/7 championship, taking on the Bollywood boys there, the Singh boys. And there was a match in the ring, but you know, with regards to that 24/7 match, the pinfall, submission, it can pretty much happen anywhere. So it started off in the ring, ended up going into the backstage area and everything. Twins actually had bumped into Eric Rowan, who had just cut this weird, it wasn't even a promo, it was more like he was talking to something. What he was talking to, he's got some type of a caged pet, we don't know what it is yet. We did see him in action later on in the night because he brought out whatever it was. He had some type of a damp looking cloth that was over it. It looked like it was in some type of a cage or whatever, and we didn't get to see whatever was in it, but he had a squash match against, I want to say maybe a UK local wrestler, who knows, but that was a squash match, nothing you could really sink your teeth into. But the Bollywood boys, they actually ran into Eric Rowan and he squashed the hell out of them. You would have thought that maybe Rowan would have looked at this as an opportunity to maybe go for the 24/7 championship, but he didn't. He did not go for it whatsoever. And at one point, R-Truth had got word that the Twins had went into Rowan's locker room, so he went looking for the Twins, and once he saw what Rowan did to them, he pretty much, you got this, brother, and that pretty much was it for him. So interesting that the Bollywood boys there, they still got that 24/7 title. And look, I know some people aren't really fans of those guys, but I will say, as far as one of the pluses about that 24/7 title, is that it is giving the undercard talents, those that maybe even the hardcore fan normally likes checking out from time to time, it gives them an opportunity to, oh, hey, it's one of my favorites. Okay, cool. Gives a person like maybe Curtis Axel or Bo Dallas, or insert whatever name you want to insert, but the undercard guys, it gives them an opportunity to have a little bit of TV time, get involved in the angle and everything. So you can't really cut up on that too much. Imperium did get injected into this episode of Monday Night Raw, which made a lot of sense. Once again, we had Mr. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know, guys. I woke up today and I just didn't know if I was gonna have steak or if I was gonna have chicken. Mr. Seth Rollins, Crackle Seth Rollins, as I like to call him, Crackle Rollins. Yeah, he came on out there. Crowd kind of really wasn't into him, but somehow it was weird. It was very weird how the crowd ended up kind of, it felt and looked and sounded, we don't care for you, dude. But the longer he stood in the ring and was smiling, it just kind of seemed like, we don't like you, dude, but hey, all right, man, all right. What you got to say, man? It was more kind of like, okay, we'll tolerate you. What do you got to say? So he played up to them a little bit and everything, but when Imperium came out, and that is the weirdest thing with Imperium that I can't quite put my finger on these past couple of weeks, that we have seen WWE out there in the UK and everything, at least for the main shows. Is it just me, or is the UK division of NXT, at least for the main flagship shows so far these past couple of weeks, is it just me, or does it kind of come off as if they're not really as over as what you would normally see when you're checking out the NXT UK shows themselves? I hate to ask that question, and I know it might kind of sound like a silly question, but you got to understand where I'm coming from, because when Imperium came out, the reactions for them was very lackluster, which is really, really weird. Even for a guy like Walter, who you thought was going to get a massive reaction, you thought it was going to blow the freaking roof off. You thought that maybe he'd get a better reaction than Seth Rollins, and it kind of came off as if maybe, they weren't really sure who these guys were. I mean, you heard a little bit in the crowd there, especially for Walter. You heard a little bit there. But in my TV, normally on Monday nights or whenever these shows are on, normally my TV is blasting, right? So, and before anybody brings it up, because I'm not seeing what you guys are saying in the chat yet, but I'll poke my head in off and on throughout the broadcast. Well, before anybody else says it, yes, we know WWE, some promotions in general, they are infamous for post-production. Okay, don't really like the reactions here. Let's go in, let's put a little something, let's change the audio, let's fuck with it a little bit, right? So, look, if WWE did do that with this broadcast tonight, I mean, man, I would be like fucking Columbo for the whole 3-hour broadcast going, yeah, they fucked with the audio right here. Yep, they fucked, For me personally, that's not what I'm looking for when I'm watching these shows. Now, I do have the volume blasted, but I have the volume blasted so that I can feel as though I'm there, right? Like, I actually have a front row seat, and as big as my damn TV is, because I have a 72-inch flat smart TV. That's what I'm pushing, 72-inch flat screen. So for me, whenever any of these shows are on, I like having that front row seat, drink in my hand, and I feel as though I'm actually there at the event, at the arena, right? So that's one of the reasons why I got my volume up usually. And then the other reason why I got the volume up, I actually enjoy hearing the color commentators, right? There are some shows I will watch and I will just say, I'm good without the commentating, and I will just have it on mute. I'll have some music playing in the background, and I'll just watch how it's playing out on my TV, right? But the other reason why I will have it up so loud, probably last on the list is the crowd reaction, right? I don't usually care for the crowd reaction unless it's just spontaneous, like with the Imperium thing. They're out there, and it was kind of lackluster. You're going, something doesn't quite seem right here, but okay, whatever. But yeah, Imperium coming out there pretty much challenging Seth Rollins, or at least Walter challenging Seth Rollins. It was actually a pretty good one-on-one match until Imperium got involved. The rest of the members of Imperium got involved, and then you had Saul. Who was it that came to the rescue there? I believe it was Kevin Owens and the Street Profits. They all came to Seth Rollins' aid, and this pretty much had morphed what was a one-on-one match into a tag team match. That actually was a pretty good matchup, I would have to say. But I mean, look, man, once again, the problem with Seth Rollins, he can't even really get no love in the UK there, man. I mean, everywhere it seems like this guy is going, this Seth Rollins dude, man, I'm telling you, it's just, it's a head scratcher. It really, really is. They had a golden opportunity, and we've already beat this horse to death already, but they had missed out on a couple of golden opportunities to do something really cool, really unique with Seth Rollins and turn him in another direction, but for whatever respected reasons, maybe just at this current time, they decided, no, we're not going to go in that direction. But I don't know with this current Seth Rollins how much more you can do with him. I really, really don't, right? And yeah, we've heard from people that like to jump in the Reddit forums and other places. It looks like the path is going to be Rollins taking on so-and-so at WrestleMania for the title. Like the one big one you keep hearing is Rollins versus Roman. That's going to happen. Yeah, even though they're on separate shows now, it's still going to happen. It's still going to happen. He's going to challenge Roman. It's still going to happen. It's like, don't be too sure about that. For all we fucking know, guys and girls, it could very well be Seth Rollins taking on Brock Lesnar again for the title at WrestleMania. So many people were so caught up on that whole Rollins reigns that you kind of forgotten WrestleMania is right around the corner. How many times tonight did you see the spot there for WrestleMania tickets going on sale this week? Right? So, and WrestleMania is literally right around the corner. Just like my wedding is right around the fucking corner. Don't even get me started on the wedding. My God, my brain is already like, But yeah, so that for me, I'm curious to see between now going into the Royal Rumble, what tweaks are they possibly going to be making there with the Rollins character, if at all. We'll have to wait and see how they do that. Rollins, Owens, Street Profits coming out on top of that one. Now, there was one really good match that I did enjoy. The match quality was on point. My personal enjoyment for it definitely was on point for it, and that was Andrade taking on Cedric Alexander, of which Andrade had won. That actually, for me, of all the matches of the night, aside from the main event match, I definitely got to give it up to both of those cats. Both of those cats really went out there, and in my estimation, they had put on a solid, almost a pay-per-view type of match. Kind of almost felt like, I won't say pre-showish, but it did feel like a pay-per-view quality type of a matchup. They clicked very well together. I enjoyed that very thoroughly. Probably the most cringe-worthy moment of the night, by the way. Actually, you know what? I'll get to that cringe-worthy. Let's save on that a little bit longer. I'm just quickly running down the results here. Viking Raiders taking on Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Here's the thing. And this was my biggest pet peeve with Raw tonight, right? Which was, okay, you do the thing with Imperium and Rollins. Okay, that's great. You do the thing with Shayna Baszler. Okay, that's great. All right. Okay, it's an invasion. Okay, great. I like that. But here's the thing. You get ready to go to a commercial break at one point, and you have Vic Joseph and them. Look, they're just doing their job. All right, I get that. They're taking their cues, right? But you have them set up what's going to happen after they come back from commercial break. They say, and guys, check this out. Paraphrasing, check this out. The Viking Raiders are going to be in action against NXT UK's own Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan. I want to say Flash Gordon. Fucking Jerry Lawler fucked me up with that because they come back from the commercial break and he was like, hey, Vic, I looked up Flash and whatever he said. And Vic is like, that's because you looked up Flash Gordon, right? But no, you go to a commercial break, you're setting this up and you're saying the Viking Raiders are taking on NXT UK's Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan. No, man, if it's supposed to be a fucking NXT invasion, don't fucking announce who the Viking Raiders are going to be taking on. Fuck that shit. We've just seen them off and on the past couple of weeks take on some created freaking wrestlers and everything, right? Some local indie guys, right? So, no, the last thing you should be doing is making an announcement, especially if you're trying to push this NXT angle, right? You're trying to push this NXT invasion, or you're trying to push some type of a invasion thing, right? You're trying to make it feel spontaneous and all that shit. The last thing you want to do as you're getting ready to go into a commercial break and say, oh, yeah, it's going to be NXT UK. No, don't say that. Instead, the smart thing you should have done was have the Viking Raiders come out, cut a promo saying, hey, you've seen what we've been capable of these past couple of weeks and we have just been steamrolling through the competition here in the WWE. That's why we decided right here in the UK, we're willing to issue any type of challenge. Now, you could kind of say, Lee, yeah, all due respect, dog, but that's a little bit similar to what Rollins had. Man, it don't matter. Do it. Just fucking do it. Have the Raiders out there, issue a challenge. Anybody in the back, anybody in the arena, right? Anybody within earshot, want to come face them for a tag match, have at it. And then you have your NXT UK boys and Flash Morgan and the other guy. Then you have them come on now, accept the challenge, all that. That would have made a little bit more sense. So for me, I was just a little bit just baffled at that. Definitely baffled at that. Didn't like that whatsoever. It almost kind of like, as far as attention to detail went for the invasion angle, it's a holiday. Forget about it. Forget about it. It's okay. We'll pick it up Wednesday. We got Wednesday and Friday. Capiche? We'll forget it. We'll be okay. Forget it. It's a holiday. It's a holiday. Enjoy the cannolis. It's a holiday. Forget about it. That's literally how it felt. Did we talk about the main event match? I think we kind of glanced over the main event match, so to speak. But main event match was definitely on point. Randy Orton, Humberto Carrillo, Ricochet, taking on all three members of the OC. Enjoyed that. I enjoyed that tremendously. That was good. And I love how they set up Randy Orton in there. It was really, really interesting because earlier in the night, Ricochet was talking to Humberto, and the OC were eavesdropping, and they were kind of picking on them a little bit. And if I remember it right, Ricochet was actually interacting with Randy Orton. He was trying to get some stuff off of his chest from, his interactions with Randy Orton recently. And OC then comes in there and, messes that whole thing up and says to Ricochet and Humberto, well, look, doubt you guys are going to find somebody to tag with you all. So if it's going to be a handicap match, we're down with that. But come meet us later on in the night. You guys take on all of us here in the OC. And Randy Orton actually had stepped up. So you're kind of looking at that. RKO, out of nowhere, don't trust anyone. Not sure if you should really trust a Viper, right? But I love the psychology of this main event match. I do, especially towards the end there when it looked as though Randy Orton was about to RKO the shit out of Ricochet. Grabs his head and everything and just pretty much psyched him out, and instead did the freaking RKO. I think it was on, it was on AJ Styles, and basically setting everything up for Humberto to pin the current United States champion. So now you could almost kind of make a little bit of an argument there that, well, hey, since Humberto had pinned the U.S. champion, does that mean now he's in contention for a title shot, right? You could kind of like make that argument or whatever, but I love that whole RKO dynamic to it, like in a nutshell. I thought that was badass. I ate all of that shit up. Those guys have flowed very, very, very well together. I love the mean mug look that RKO there, Randy Orton gave Ricochet, stared him down, smiled at him, and told him, anytime, I can have you anytime. It's like, oh, yes. And I'm telling you, anytime we get Randy Orton and Ricochet, dogs, it's an instant classic. I mean, just a little bit we've seen of them so far. It's a freaking instant classic. So, you had a couple of bright spots in there. I mean, it was a so-so average episode, but I would be lit on fire if I did not address the serious elephant in the room, thus the title for our episode, especially for those of you on the downloads. We usually try to make the title of the episodes for the audio version of the show stand out a little more and everything. But the Lana Rusev Lashley segment for tonight, for me, it epitomized why WWE needs to end the fuck out of this shit already. Seriously, I just, oh my god, man. We need to fucking end this segment already. We do. This whole angle, I'm tired of them. I'm legitimately tired of them. Okay, so for those of you that didn't watch this and you're, wait, what the fuck happened? So, We see Lana and Lashley in a backstage segment. It looks like there's trouble in paradise as they're arguing. It's incoherent. We don't know what's going on, right? But Lana comes out to the ring later on. And, the first couple of minutes of her promo, it's not that bad. It's not that bad whatsoever, However, the longer she keeps talking, she's got her bullet points, and you're like, okay, all right, she's doing good so far. But the more she's into her lines, the lower and lower that this whole segment gets. And so, God, it was a whole bunch of incoherent mumbo jumbo, but I'm paraphrasing here. One of the things she had revealed that I was like, okay, yeah, we don't care. Whatever. What's next? She revealed she cheated on Rusev. Like, okay, all right, cool. And the other thing that she had revealed is that Lashley is the lover of her life. And she didn't want to talk about whatever she's getting ready to talk about out in the open. But, she admitted that, despite the fact that, she now hates Rusev and all this other shit, longest run-on sentences segment ever that you came across from one person, right? So Lana claims that Rusev cheated on her first, so for her it was basically tit for tat. And several weeks ago she had sex with Bobby Lashley for the first time. Even Jerry Lawler's jumping in there like TMI. And Lana says it's their sexiversary apparently. And the sex was beautiful, and she tried to be as monogamous with Rusev, but then with Lashley and whatever. All this other humble, bubble, whatever. Okay, so 7 weeks ago. All right, so she's basically saying she's pregnant. She's beating around the bush, making all these long goddamn fucking circles, right? It's like, hey, how do I get the DuPont circle? Well, you catch the train, and then after you hop on the train, you don't catch the red line there. After you hop on the red line, you're going to get off at this stop. And then once you get to that stop, then you're going to go walk up the escalator. And then you're going to go make a left here. And you make a right down there for 2 blocks. After you get down 2 blocks, hang left. And then you're going to take that left. You're going to walk that on now for about 5 blocks. Then you come across this circle. And then you're there. And then you're there. Or something like that. When you could just say A, B. That's all you got to do, right? This was one of the longest fucking boring goddamn segments I've ever come across in my entire life so far in 2019 from the WWE. This was by far the worst fucking segment. Whoever wrote this needs to be fired. Needs to be fired. And I am just picturing, to quote John Moxley, it's such good shit, man. Like, I'm just picturing that, and we saw the recent article that had came out supposedly about how Vince really feels about this angle and everything, that the fans in this case are wrong, and that apparently there's more bigger, important things on the horizon with regards to this story. And that's why they're continuing to stay the course, because whatever is going on, the end result of this, us fans are going to be just, oh man, we're going to be marveled, and we're going to be, oh my God, genius, and all this. I'll believe it when I see it. Because right now, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I'm not feeling it. And if I'm not feeling it, it's very hard for me to continue to stay into it. A good example, a little bit of a segue, a good example. Chris Carter, one of my favorite guys. I love watching when he was on First Things First on FS1. I was talking to my coworker Marcus about this last week because he was trying to figure out like what the hell is going on, because usually he knows I'm on top of news related items and all that. He's like, any new update, because I haven't really been keeping track. What's going on, Lee? And me and him were talking about it and everything, and we both came to the same conclusion. And I used a food analogy. Go figure. I always use a food analogy. You guys know this. But I had said, when you go with a show like First Things First, Chris Carter was the ground beef, right? You're going to make yourself a bomb-ass burger. You just ain't going to have that burger unless you got the ground beef. and Chris Carter was the ground beef. Nick Wright, all due respect to Nick Wright is the hamburger buns, right? He's the bread, okay? He's going to keep all that good shit together. Jenna Wolf is the condiments for that burger, right? Now, you can still have a pretty damn good tasty burger if you take away Jenna Wolf, okay? That's the God's honest truth. Now, if you take away Nick Wright, okay, so you're taking away the bread. Okay, well, okay, so basically we're talking condiments on top of ground beef. That's not exactly a bad thing. It's not exactly a bad thing. You could almost kind of look at it as a salad just with meat in it, right? Okay, so it's not exactly a bad thing. But once you take away the ground beef, yeah, it's kind of hard to really sell the fuck out of that, right? So for me, once Chris Carter was like, I've tried to watch it, and it's just not the same show. I've actually found myself flocking back to Undisputed so I can hear more of fucking Shannon Sharp. Oh, Skip, back when I was playing with John Elway, you know, with the Denver Broncos. But Skip, you know. So I look at this Lana Rusev Lashley thing. Okay, you've been giving it to me now, and the rest of the WWE fan base for, my God, feels like 2 months. And it's been excruciating. You know, we our patience, for some of us, our patience was done after about 3 weeks of this shit, right? And it just seems like there is no end in sight to this. Now, look, I want to be on the real tip. Look, and Lana, you know, she blocked us. She blocked us a couple of years ago because there was, I know the clip too. It's actually on our channel, on our YouTube channel. There's one clip that we did, and it was involving a horrific segment, and she's pretty much been salty ever since. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many of these wrestlers do a vanity search all throughout social media and find out what's being said about them and everything. Look, is Lana stunningly beautiful? God fucking yes, she is. Yes, she is. Is she talented? I think it depends on what position you're putting her in. I think that the biggest mistake that was made was her getting away from that Russian character, that dropping that whole accent. I think those elements, whatever mystique that she had around her, that allure and everything, once you took that away from her, you're not really left with anything but just a stunning face. That's it. And that really, really hurt her, I personally felt. Now, the one saving grace that she did have was when you had the whole Rusev Day, and it really seemed like that Rusev Day was going places. But for whatever respected reason, that shit got squashed real quick. It ran its course. Seemed like maybe, you know, it was a little touch and go, but man, when it ran its course, it ran its course. But if there was any type of a fucking what's up, Mish? Yes, Mish. Yes. Shannon Sharp is clearly the fucking mayonnaise. Yes, he is. Don't get me started on his fucking, I can't stand Shannon Sharp, y'all. I just can't. He's just, look, every time, we should play a game with Shannon Sharp. Every fucking time you watch Undisputed and he says something about me and John Elway, back when I used to play for the Denver Broncos, or it's like, take a shot. Just, you probably will go to the fucking ambulance. I promise you guys. But no, the Lana segment, guys, I'm sorry. It's really hard for me to stay invested into it. It really, really is. You know, and I just wish that in this particular case, okay, here's the thing. Whatever Vince McMahon has of the end result, wherever this storyline, how it's going to culminate, and what's going to be like the subdivision, if you were to tell me that Vince McMahon's grand scheme of things, I'm going to get Rusev over on my terms. It's not going to be because of some catchphrase that him and a couple of buddies make up. And no, it's going to be on my terms. And the fans are going to love it. They're going to enjoy it. God damn it, they're going to enjoy it. Okay, All right, I'm okay with that. Just do us a favor, us fans. Expedite the shit. That's all I'm saying. Expedite the shit. I think it would be a travesty, and I think y'all would be in agreement with me. I think it would be a travesty if we went into January 1st, 2020, and this segment, this whole rivalry thing, is still going on. This feels like it needs to culminate like before the year is out. I'm just telling you personally. And for me, you would think that me being a product child of the 80s and most people around my age range or a little bit older, like maybe mid 40s, you would think that we would like this shit because this fits the whole fucking, Howard Stern, fucking Jerry Springer, fucking throw whatever you want to throw in there, right? Maury, you would think that this would be right up our alley, but truth be told, there were many of us that was like, okay, yeah, that was 20 something years ago. When we were home from school, we played hooky and, we were smoking weed and drinking some alcohol and watching Jerry Springer, or we went to college and yeah, it was on, or, hey, had a half day from school, come home and mom's watching Jerry, that's like, 20 something years ago or whatever. And I know some of these shows are still doing their thing, which is really weird. That's a different topic for another time. But it feels so outdated. I should be behind this, right? Because Attitude Era. Well, guess what? I'm one of the fans that lived through the Attitude Era that's going, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not those fans out there saying, damn it, I missed the Attitude Era. I want it to come. I have all of my favorite memories. And if there's something I want to go back and relive, I can just pull up the WWE network, right? Whereas for some of the newer fans that did not get to experience what we experienced first run, yeah, I would imagine for them it's, oh man, we're getting kind of like a throwback here but it just kind of gets to a point when you look at certain individuals. I look at Lana and I look at Rusev and I just say, God, even if I don't like whatever. Okay, Lana blocks the RCWR show. Whatever, man. I don't care about that because what I say is constructive criticism. It's never personal, right? I think she's talented, just needs to be utilized properly. Rusev, God, look at him. You give me a guy that looks like that for any fucking wrestling promotion. I'm looking at that guy and I'm going, I can do something big with that guy. I got something for him. I'm going to do a scenic route with that guy, but I got big plans for that guy. Just watch. I'm going to do some really cool shit with him. You show me a man like that takes the time and the dedication to hit the gym, get in the best fucking phenomenal shape of his life, is already a solid in-ring performer, right? Has always established that. Decent promo cutter. And he's shredded the way he's shredded now? Oh yeah, I'm going to do some stuff with that. But to play devil's advocate, Bobby Lashley is still getting the most fun out of all of this, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy these guys are getting a paycheck, but quality over quantity, I always say, and the quality of this one, I'm just not feeling it. I don't see how anybody can justify this. To my point, everybody got their panties in a bunch over AEW Full Gear, right? We can segue into that. I'm done talking about Raw, right? All right, I want to share with you all my thoughts about AEW Full Gear, okay? First off, before I even go to Full Gear, let's address StarCast, right? I'm not going to reveal my sources, right? I wouldn't do that, especially when they haven't given me the green light. But multiple people I've talked to privately, with regards to StarCast, and I was in Baltimore this weekend, people. I actually was. And I have heard from multiple people that the StarCast event and the way it was operated was shady as fuck. I heard that as far as when the vendors got there and they're trying to figure out, okay, where do we need to go? How do we need to set everything up? Who, what, when, where, get the 5 W's covered. They were just left running around with their heads fucking cut off. It was disorganized as fuck. Nobody knew anything. Just, what the fuck, okay? Now, aside from that, the way some of the vendors had their tables and all of that set up, you had vendors who, okay, all right, we got our table. We paid for our table. X amount of money. Let me explain to you people, right? Because I've been to enough awesome cons and all this other shit. All right, so when you're a vendor, okay, you want to be at, insert whatever name. You want to be at Comic-Con or whatever. You're putting down a flat out large sum of money or small sum of money. You're putting down a sum of money. And you have basically bought a table. You've bought a table, and with that table comes X amount of chairs. All right? That's what you got to do to set yourself up. If you want to have heat, access to electricity, some instances, you got to pay a little bit more. Okay? Flat out fee, right? So you go to StarCast. Some of these people paid XYZ to be able to have their table, their chairs, whatever. Access to electricity, whatever. They get there. It's time for them to set up. Where's the chairs? Ain't no chairs. Where the hell are the chairs? They had to go steal chairs from other areas because their shit wasn't set up, right? Some people didn't have electricity. Practically all the vendors, the way that it was set up, and I saw the many videos, talked to a few people, and they were like, yeah, man, kind of felt like you were in some type of a fucking dark club or some shit, And I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah, man, poor lighting. You can hardly see, what the hell's going on. You got to have like bright flashlights or some shit, man. Yeah, it's pretty crappy over here. One person that I won't name has said, dog, Lee, I lost so much money this weekend just off of this event. I would have done better going to any other indie event where at least 50 people showed up, and I would have made a killing there as opposed to what happened at StarCast. That's true, people. That's true. Now, you're going to have
fake news, people. What they're saying about StarCast, it's fake news. StarCast was a success. It was huge. It was huge, people. It was so phenomenal. It was so extra sporkin' frickin' nominal dimptious. It was awesomeness. It was awesome sauce. It was great.
that.
No problems. Yeah, I know what they're talking about. No problems.
But you talk to the right people, right? One person, I'm going to try not to put too many hints out there, but there was one person that even had shared their hotel experience that was all set up through Conrad and everything. And they were talking about how the first hotel room that they had there was temperature problems, and then there were this problems with the room, and then that problems with the room. And then they tried to switch out. They switched out rooms at this same hotel, I don't know how many times. And then finally they just said, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done with this. And they actually went and stayed at a hotel in D.C. Not Baltimore, Maryland. They went to go stay at a hotel in D.C. and just said, fuck it. We just come on back, whatever. Our shit set up. We're good to go. Come on back later, right? So, yeah, bad stories. And then some of the prices for these meet and greets, they were not reflective of what you saw online, right? Now, I know you guys know about that whole Don West thing, right? Because Don West came on, and we were actually promoting it on Wednesday shows. Don West did this little social media thing, and he was like, hey, I got the deal for you. And 24 hours, you can go online and get 50% off. I can't do the Don West voice, but you're like, oh, okay, cool. 50% off key meet and greets. Now, when you see that, you go, what a steal. But then on the other hand, you go, oh, wait a minute. It must not be selling that good if they are doing what's going on here, right? But a lot of people were saying, hey, some of these guys, they were charging 2-3 times the amount, from what you had saw online. Yeah, their prices jacked up. One name that jumps out at me, and I saw a few people saying this, so it's matching up apparently, because a lot of these people aren't connected. Great Muda. Some people, and shout out to John Draper from Wrestling Soup. He was like, hey, I saw Great Muda, at this, I think it was the House of Glory joint. can't recall, but he definitely said Muda wanted $20 at that event. And now apparently at StarCast, Muda wanted like 100 and something. You're like, fuck happened, right? You know what it reminds me of? And I can't really be too upset, but I can be upset. Now, there is a good saving grace to StarCast. I do want to talk about that. I do want to put that over. But you know what it reminds me of? Great analogy. And it's true. At my job, there is a convenience store that is operated by a Vietnamese couple, a young couple. And give you a perfect example. You go in there, you know those little small bags of Doritos, right? Little small bags, right? Shit we used to grow up on back in the day. For us, our age group, little bags like that, what? Cost about 50 cents, right? Well, today, you gotta pay like about $1.50, right? So let's just say you go in Monday. Chinaman charge you $2. You come back Tuesday, right? 24 hours later, you run into his wife. That same little bag of chips, the wife charged you $3. Now, it's your job to say, wait a minute. Yesterday I was here. Your husband charged me only $2, and today you charging me $3. What's going on here? And you'll usually get that, you know, and they don't really answer your question. It's pretty much take it or leave it, right? So how hungry are you? Are you hungry enough that, well, gee, George, you know, I'm kind of not really, all right, here you go, take my money, I'm stupid, right? Or do you put your foot down and you just say, no, honor the price that I was charged the other day. Y'all need to get on the same page with these prices. And they do that for everything in the store. They have pissed off so many people at the building where I work. It's in downtown DC. They've pissed off so many people in that building. Like, no, don't go there. You know, anybody new that ends up working, like, don't go there. They're going to charge you, like, total strangers. It's like, don't go there. It's like, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg, you know, save your money and you can just go do some real grocery shopping later and you'll be all right. That's how I look at Conrad and the way he has handled some of these charges for the meet and greets, the vendors and all that shit. I told you I was in Baltimore over the weekend, and I was in Baltimore because I had to go buy some art supplies. And if you had checked out my Twitter timeline, I dropped like $300 on art supplies because I'm getting ready to do the commission for our Patreon member, Freddie. And I'm excited. Like, I could have did it this weekend, but my furnace went out a couple of days ago, and we just heard back from American Home Shields, and they're like, we're going to be here Tuesday. They're supposed to be here sometime in the afternoon. My mother-in-law is actually going to be here to let them in, let them install a new system and all that. So we have just been in a house. We had a couple of heaters, knock on wood, but oh my God, it was so cold. You know it's bad when the puppy, our puppy Maggie, she's still a puppy in my eyes. I mean, she's been an adult for a while now, but she was so cold that she wanted up on the bed, and she normally doesn't want up on the bed. Normally she goes into her apartment under the bed and shit, and she chills. But, you know, besides the point, yeah, we were in Baltimore this past weekend and everything, and I was telling Tams, I said, wow, I said, it's been a good minute since I've been here in Baltimore. And I was enjoying the ride. I was on the freeway, and I was just, oh man, hey, it's the, what is it, the M&T stadium where the Ravens play? I was like, oh man, hey, it's the stadium where the Ravens play. She's like, yeah, how about that? I was like, hey, that's cool. All right, looks pretty so far. Yeah, just wait till we get off the expressway here. I'm sure it's going to look raggedy ass in a minute. I'm like, damn, you vicious. She's like, no, I'm telling the truth. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I haven't been down here either. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm like, okay, all right, let's see. So, like, as soon as we get off the freeway, homeless people, like, oh my God, down on the corner, out in the street, begging for change. I mean, it was like homeless people after homeless people. That shit was like,
Hey, dog, you got the east side, right? Yeah, man, I got the east side. Okay, I'm gonna get the west side right here. Hey, Tracy, you got the south side, right?
I mean, it was like, God, it was like at each intersection there was like 4 or 5 fucking homeless people. Like it was ridiculous. And I was like, God damn. Homeless people panhandling on the streets, going back and forth. People just racing up to your fucking car, trying to wash the shit. I'm like, damn, at one point I thought I was in the scene from fucking Death Wish. What was it? Was it Death Wish 3 when Charles Bronson fucking took on the gang members? I kind of felt like at one point that was going on with us, because I swear to God, a couple of lights, we had people that just bone rushed our car and they were washing it. How you people doing today? Hey, this sure is a lovely day. Yeah, clean car for you. And before we can say, no, we good, they're already washing it down and shit. And, yeah. It's like, we don't have any money. Oh. All right, well, all right, y'all have a good day then. It's kind of like, okay, I'm trying to tell you, but you ain't want to fucking listen. Whatever. So, yeah, it was raggedy as shit. Y'all thought I was being cruel and shit when I said what I said on Twitter over the weekend as far as the best part about Baltimore is leaving Baltimore. Oh my God. Oh my God, Baltimore. Look, you people that live in Baltimore, I feel you. I feel you. I know why y'all are out there. I mean, rent out there is cheap as fuck. You can't beat the prices out there. I looked at some nice places out there when we was out there, and Tammy was like, forget about it, it ain't happening. But it looks so nice. She's like, yeah, and look at the homeless people right there. Like, oh yeah, that's true. Hey, that looks nice. It ain't happening. Stop doing it. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Raggedy as fuck. But, Jimmy Seafood? Oh yeah, Jimmy Seafood is the bomb. I can definitely tell you that. So yeah, getting back to StarCast though, if there was one good thing about StarCast, and I didn't even know this, and I was telling my girl, I said, had I known this, we would have covered it. Because I would have loved to have gone and given a true unbiased report of it, like I've done with the Awesome Cons over the years. Apparently, Conrad Thompson, for the first time, and I got Mish to thank for this, my buddy over there from Wrestling Soup. Thank you, Mish, because I heard it from him. I didn't even know about it, but apparently Conrad, for the first time during the StarCast events, he actually opened up podcasters being able to cover StarCast as officially part of members of the press media. And so you're going, oh, wow. That's fucking cool. So it wasn't a case where you had to dick suck them or anything like that. It was just they were allowing a select few, so take your pick, whether you're a podcast that's just starting off or whatever. And I think that is fucking awesome because myself, Julian Cannon from the Wrestling Court, few other guys, we make our rounds covering certain events that's happening in the area or kind of close by and everything. And normally when it comes to getting press credentials, you're a podcaster, it's okay, well, metric wise, okay, what's going on with your downloads? Okay, what's going on with your social media following? Okay, how consistent do you update your content? Do you upload content, right? Well, if you got a website, what's going on with that, right? Give us some of your strongest pieces, right? Okay, all right, everything kind of checks out. They're consistent. All right, cool. There's your pass. Enjoy, right? So Conrad, on the other hand, for the past several StarCasts, as some of y'all probably know, was, hey there, y'all. You wanna come to StarCast and you wanna cover my joint? Or if you got yourself $3 to $5 grand, you can get yourself a table and some chairs, and you get your little cute badge and call yourself a member of the press media, and you can interview people. Little do you know, for that couple of thousand that you're paying, as far as the people that you're going to be able to interview, nah, you ain't getting no 15, 20-minute fucking interview. I'm gonna ask this question. Oh man, yeah, this gonna be a good one. Hey dog, you got your questions? Yeah, man, I was thinking I'm gonna ask this. Well, if you're gonna ask that, I'm gonna ask this. Okay, oh man, this shit gonna be good. It will be, man, our podcast is gonna blow up. Here is insert wrestler's name. You got 5 minutes. You flip it through the pages now, trying to figure out what questions you're gonna ask. when really you're just there to promote StarCast AEW. That's pretty much how it goes. So to hear that he opened it up for podcasts to cover this event, as members of the press media, where they did not have to pay, that is a great step, because I've always been a firm believer in when you have it set up in such a way where, okay, we're going to give you a press pass. You're going to talk about our event. Now, I'm not saying you got to do dick sucking, but I will say this. If you expect to return going all fucking Gordon Ramsay and shitting on the motherfucker to death, don't expect to turn right back around and be like, all right, can't wait to come back. It's one thing when you're offering constructive criticism, right? Like, I know you guys have checked out some of my Awesome Con reviews, and there's been some things where I've pointed out openly, constructively, they need to improve on this and they need to improve on that. This would be better otherwise. And when it comes to that same time around next year and we see, okay, where's the strides that they made of improvements? Okay, yeah. Remember last year we talked about this? Well, they improved on it because now they're doing this. And it's one thing if you're doing that. So when you're giving out these press passes, that podcaster, they're covering the event, right? They have that responsibility, that honor of covering the event as unbiased and neutral as humanly possible while giving constructive feedback. But they're also, in their own respective way, they're using their respected outlets, right? Whether they are averaging 500 downloads, or they're getting 100, or they're getting 1,000, or they're getting 3, 5, whatever the number is, they still have their own respected market, and you got to honor that. If they want to cover it, and okay, they fit in a quota. Now, of course, through process of elimination, okay, well, if Johnny Come Lately over here, okay, he just started podcasting 3 months ago, and so far he's only got about barely 3 months of content. Meanwhile, Mary over here has been doing her thing for 3 years, and Mary is averaging, 5,000 downloads for her podcast, and, she's putting out like 2-3 shows a week. Who you think is gonna, right? Who you think is gonna get that nod for press pass credentials, right? So you kind of got to look at it like that. But no, they did. I'll give Conrad that. I'll give Conrad that. Had I known, I definitely would have gone to StarCast. I definitely would have gone. But I don't know, man. I'm glad I didn't go. I'm so glad I didn't go, because me, Tams, and shout out to Patreon member Justin Repstock. Justin was thinking about going too, but he was like, He was more mad that he didn't get to do the all-you-could-eat buffet at Jimmy's Seafood. So apparently that was like $50, and you got to, I guess, hang out with some of the AEW guys or whatever. So AEW Full Gear. I don't want to do a full-blown review, but like overall, right? Because this is my first time sharing thoughts on this pay-per-view event and everything. Let me address the two main things. Was it worth the $50? It was worth the $50 if you paid the $50. God bless you if you paid the $50. It was worth the $50 to see key matches. The Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, Jericho taking on Cody. That's it for me. That's it for me. Now, some of you guys may say, damn, dog, that's not even half the card. Take it or leave it. I'll tell you this. They got to come down on them prices. I know they're doing these pay-per-views every couple of months and everything, but they got to come down on that price. $50 is very, very steep, especially when you have fans that just a couple of weeks ago dropped $20 for MLW Super Fight. And that was fantastic. That was fucking fantastic. I enjoyed it. I implore any one of you guys out there, if you did not check out the MLW Super Fight card and you have been at least watching MLW Fusion, go check that out. That is a damn good pay-per-view. Best $20 I've spent on a pay-per-view from a wrestling promotion for 2019 so far. It was money well spent. But $50 price tag for an AEW pay-per-view every single time they get ready to do these things, Nah, man, you gotta drop that. You gotta at least make that $40. Make it $29.95. Make it $39.95. You do that, that's definitely a really good step. I think a lot more people would be willing to bite that bullet and say, all right, let me whip out my credit card. More people would be willing to say, okay, I'm gonna charge it to my cable satellite bill and everything, right? But I mean, by now you guys know the quick rundown of the card, right? But for those of you that don't, Britt Baker defeated Brie Presley via submission. You know she's a doctor, right? Britt Baker, or rather, she's a fucking doctor. B. Presley, thank you for that. I had a couple of people chuckling on Twitter today because I don't know why, but I was just fiddling around with my teeth because y'all know I've been using Invisalign past couple of months, and I just said something to myself, man, if I lose another fucking button, and then all of a sudden a fucking dentist just popped in my head, so I just went with that fucking gif, and I can't remember the listener, but one guy had said, are you actually going to be pointing at somebody when you say that out loud? I said, hell yeah, I'm going to be pointing and I'm going to be shouting that shit to my damn primary dentist. You bet your ass I'm going to be saying that to somebody actually. But yeah, that was that was an okay match. Proud and Glory, Santana and Ortiz defeating the Young Bucks. I enjoyed that match actually. Yeah, I'll give an honorable nod to that. That actually was a damn good matchup. Adam Page taking on Pac, didn't really have too much of an issue with that one. Shawn Spears taking on Joey Janela. I could have done without that match, honestly. I honestly could have done without that match. SoCal Uncensored defeating the Lucha Brothers Private Party to retain their tag titles. It was alright. Rio defeating Emma Sakura to retain her AEW Women's title. If I ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. But I'll be candid with you all. A 90-pound girl that's continuing to defy the odds. Boy, I tell you what, when I look at some of these 5, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids running around, I'm now looking at them in an entirely different light. Like, don't look at them wrong. Don't look at them sideways because they might fucking whoop your ass like Rio. So, he talk about suspension of disbelief, man. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Let's home in on these two matches here. Let's home in on the one match. Look. Let me address Chris Jericho taking on Cody. I fucking love that match. I love that fucking match. That was a phenomenal match for AEW this year, just for the promotion. I will definitely give that a respected nod as far as, hey, what was one of the best matches from the events that they've done this calendar year? I would put that match at the very, very fucking top. Jericho, Cody, and then the MJF effect there. MJF throwing in that fucking towel. Oh, and then you're thinking Cody was going to be the one that was going to turn on MJF, but actually it was fucking MJF that turned on Cody. I like that, and I don't know why it shocked the hell out of people, because everybody that's ranting and raving over MJF, you have been watching MLW, right? You've been watching him over there, right? You've been checking him out in other promotions, right? Like, you know what he's really good at. So why would you expect anything? It was a nice surprise. I didn't think they were going to do it here, but I'm glad that they did. Now it puts MJF in a position where he's hot fucking shotted. Now this man is, woo! Now you've properly introduced this man, right? And he's got the biggest chip. He's got the biggest bullseye on him right now. And I love it. And you've essentially taken a scenic route for Cody ultimately becoming an AEW World Champion. But for now, he's taking the scenic route, right? And he's going to be doing this thing with Cody and all that. It kind of follows up on what I had said when I was offering predictions for this card last week, which was I could see a scenario come about where maybe a Hangman Page eventually takes the championship off of Jericho, right? Because I still feel Hangman Page can be that guy. And I could just basically see an admirable fighting champion say, hey, I want to give so-and-so this opportunity to face me for the championship. I feel that he's been an honorable man. He's done everything the right way, blah, blah, blah. You know, without his involvement in AEW, I probably wouldn't even be here right now. Blah, blah, blah. I usually see something like that coming about, where it's a babyface taking on a babyface. And that's how Cody becomes the champion when it's all said and done. Hug out moment. Oh, all that other fucking shit, right? But yeah, I love all of that. Now, Moxley taking on Omega. Unsanctioned, lights out match. I don't need to be long and drawn out with this, right? Shout out to my man, Matt Coon. I love interacting with Matt Coon. Matt Coon's pretty cool. I've been fucking with him since his Truth with Consequences days with Vince Russo. That's where I first properly was introduced to him. And I like the guy. The guy knows his shit. And I love reading his tweets. I love checking out his show. He's a good dude. I sincerely mean that. He is a good dude. And I like the fact that he's from over here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I bring him up because, shout out to him, he brought up literally almost the same points I had made on his Total Engagement show that he dropped earlier Monday morning. But I want to kind of add on top of that and kind of branch out and do my own thing. All right, look, one complaint about this match, a little long. When you're going in basically 40 minutes, but you know what? I can put that to the side and I can just go, tell me a story. Tell me an entertaining story. Tell me a story where I'm going to remember this match because of the story that you told in the ring all throughout, right? Tell me that kind of a story. Tell me something that will entice me. Tell me a story that's going to really reel me in and keep me going and keep me fixated. And Moxley versus Omega did that. The pace was just right, you know, nice and slow, warming up. I love that. I love everything about that. From the rat traps to the barbed, multi-wired fucking board that they brought out, and my God, you name it, right? They brought everything out and then some. And it was cool because when you look at Impact, look at ROH, or look at WWE. You know, AEW tried to branch out in a way where we're going to try to bring about some outlaw shit, right? Which fit the whole term about unsanctioned lights out match, right? And of course, we had Raj Al Ghul, who, this is not for me. I do not like this. I do not like this. This is not for me. We had Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful. Not for me. Ooh. We had Dave Meltzer, minus 150 stars, and you name it. And I was a little disappointed with these guys because I know a lot of these guys, they could try to be naive. But these guys, they know the power that they have in their hands. They know that there are fans of theirs that will hang on every fucking thing that they say. Because at the end of the day, you've got a decent amount of people that want to look like they're in with the in crowd. They want to feel as though they are accepted. Hey, if I agree with this person and their points, even if it kind of differs from mine, I'm siding with them, maybe it'll give me that heart. Maybe it'll give me that like. Maybe it'll give me that retweet and all that other shit. And they can't just really, well, nah, man, I kind of have to disagree with you. Some of these people that I mentioned, they've got the platforms that they have. Some of these people got these blue check marks that they should not have. And they are looked at as authoritative figures. And that comes with some heaviness. It does, because you just don't really grasp how much power you have in your hands. With every fucking tweet, every fucking post that you put out there, people are hanging to your words. They're looking at you as the, whether you want the title or not, they are looking at you as some type of an authority figure. So to see these individuals say what they said and crapping the hell out of this match for the spots, for the blood and the extreme and all this other shit, To that, I say it was unsanctioned. It was an unsanctioned match. It was an unsanctioned lights out match. You continue to watch. What did you expect was going to happen? Look, I'll give them credit. Most of them had said, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Okay, all right, great. That's your opinion. Nothing wrong with that. But does that mean you need to, and everybody's, oh man, these two guys, they're so beneath that. Oh, they're better than that. They don't need to do shit like that. I was saying this all throughout social media on Saturday night when this match was playing and everything, and then post match, because I was checking out what Mish was doing on his post show and everything, and I was telling people how soon we forget. You know, all these people that are, oh my God, John Moxley, he's in AEW. Oh, we are fucking fire now. Woo! And it's like, well, what type of John Moxley, first of all, what, did you think you were going to just continue to get Dean Ambrose, but just Dean Ambrose free? Like free WWE? What did you think was going to happen? Right? John Moxley, so you're telling me at no point in time since John Moxley has been a part of AEW, you're telling me at no time did you do a Bing or Google search? What's this shit with CZW? Type that shit in, look it up, and oh my fucking God, right? Where was the outcry? Where was the rage? Where was the concern when the guy known as Dean Ambrose went back to John Moxley? Where were the editorial pieces and all that from people saying, hope he does not, with this return to the John Moxley name, hope he is not trying to resurrect his hardcore style that he used to do for promotions such as ZZW. Show me that article. My challenge to anybody, show me that article where somebody was like, hey, it's great that he's in AEW, but hope he doesn't go all extreme, because I haven't seen anything like that. So what did you expect was going to happen in a match like this? And not for nothing, but these two men, they've had somewhat of a feud, right? So with a match like this, essentially, this is the payoff, right? This is it, right? We're not following up after this. This is pretty much it. It had a nice throwback type of feel to it. What it personally reminded me of? I heard so many people that were giving their own respected examples of, oh man, it reminded me of this match, or, it reminded me of that match. The match that it reminded me of, but it was amped up basically times 5. It reminded me of Triple H taking on Shawn Michaels' unsanctioned match from SummerSlam. That's exactly what it reminded me of. It was just amped up like times fucking 10. And for anybody that doesn't remember that fucking match, okay, so if I remember it right, this match with Shawn Michaels, this was when he was kind of toying around with the idea of, maybe being a wrestler again or some shit like that. And he wanted to kind of see, what exactly could he do, right? And he went into that match kind of basically going, okay, well, you know what? I do this one match, and if it ain't clicking, hey, I've done one match, I'm good to go. Now, I don't need to give you the whole backdrop story to it, but there was some shit that was going on in his personal life that ultimately kind of had him, let me go ahead and do this match. It's a one-off, but, did he need the money? Yeah, because of some other shit that was going on. No, nothing illegal or anything like that, but Google, Bing it, get yourself caught up to speed, you younger listeners out there. So he does this match, and he looked totally different too when he did this, because, man, when you see Shawn Michaels, you're like expecting Shawn Michaels to appear in his ring attire and all that shit, and just sexy boy, you expect him to do all, and he comes out, he's just wearing a wife beater tank top, he's wearing jeans, he's got boots, his hair is extremely fucking short, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, all right, let's go. and it was a what was it? Was it a non-sanctioned? Yeah, non-sanctioned match. I think I kept saying sanctioned. It was a non-sanctioned match. So basically, anything had fucking went in that match. And it was from 2002, SummerSlam 2002, one of my favorite SummerSlams of all time. I actually still have that on VHS, believe it or not. I still have it on VHS. And anything basically went in that fucking match, right? I won't spoil it for you guys that, maybe are curious, you want to see that match and you're trying to figure out, yeah, who won that? I won't spoil that for you guys. But what happened post-match was fucking, I remember people were just, oh my God, Sean. Yeah, everybody was just so like, oh my God, on all that. This was back when Triple H just didn't give a fuck and he'll take his sledgehammer and try to kill your ass and everything, right? So when I'm looking at Omega and I'm looking at Moxley, that's what I was reminded of, 2002, that non-sanctioned match, right? Anything can basically happen. Whatever happens, like, WWE wasn't at fault. AEW, they were not at fault, And I wish that AEW in retrospect, and this is what they could do going forward. And I did poll you guys. Brings us to a poll. I mentioned the poll earlier. I want to know what you thought about this match. So we got a poll that's on YouTube right now. Click on over the communities tab. And your votes are really simple. And for me, I think when you treat matches like this as a rare delicacy, it has that much more of an impact. It really, really does. And to see the amount of people that were bashing the hell out of this match. These guys are better. It's like, what did you think Jon Moxley was going to do? After the infamous interview that he had gave talking about his time in the fucking WWE and everything, and really wanting to be let loose, the creativeness, the freedom, and all of that, right? What did you expect he was going to be doing in AEW? Or did you not respectfully go out of your way to look up his stuff from CZW? Because anybody could go on RF Video and you can go buy the best of Jon Moxley. It only costs you $12. And you could see him at his true fucking apex over there, right? But I gave you guys some polling options. Go click on the communities tab over on the YouTube page, youtube.com/RCWR show. I said, is matches like Omega and Moxley, what they did at Full Gear, good or bad for AEW overall? Sound off. Here's what we got so far in real time, at the time we're recording this show right now. We got a tie at 7%. Some of you, neutral, straight up don't know how to feel. The other 7% of you, no. There was a time for matches like that, no more. 13%, I don't care, honestly, just entertain me. Coming in at an overwhelming 73% so far, yes, just treat it as a delicacy, make it rare. And I like that AEW, of all the matches, I love that they've got, and whoever booked this, now when we go back, and we're like, why didn't Cody and Jericho end the pay-per-view? It should have been them that ended the pay-per-view. What the hell? But then we get the unsanctioned. I think it's brilliant how they did that, because look at all of the buzz. You just can't help but wonder if even the people that booked it, if even they had got some type of a indication that there was going to be this type of blowback, right? That it was going to have that many people up in a roar or whatever. And I think this can essentially help AEW for sure, because especially from a marketing standpoint, right? The match that, nobody was meant to see, blah, 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 blah. What I will say going forward is when AEW gets ready to do matches like this, if I could give them any type of advice for matches like this, and this is what I was telling Matt Kuhn earlier today, when you're doing it on pay-per-view, I would have the announcers say, for those of you that just got done watching our main event match, that is it for the official pay-per-view itself. We are now going to go into our, unsanctioned, whatever fuck you want to call it, lights out, whatever, right? Under the table match, whatever the fuck you want to call it, doesn't count match, whatever. But do your thing, make the announcement to the crowd, give them an opportunity. They're either going to stick around or they're going to roll out. But most important thing, for those that's watching the pay-per-view at home, right? Let there be a black screen and let there be some text. You can say some shit like, hey, warning, the following match that you're about to see is blah, 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 blah. Could be graphic, could be da-da-da. We're rating this portion of the show, rated blah, 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 right? You don't wish to watch this, you can change the channel now, otherwise, hope you enjoy. Do some shit like that. And at that point, if a motherfucker decides they want to fucking stick around, all the fucking precautions have been made. So when I look at a match like this, I can appreciate, because I just referenced the 2002 match between Triple H, Shawn Michaels. I could think of some other instances too, but we'd be here all night if I were to even bring up other matches that this match kind of reminded me of. The old school fan in me appreciates stuff like this, because after all, at the end of the day, the garbage that we got mostly from Raw tonight, match that up against what AEW had did Saturday night. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if I'm gonna have to pick between the two shows, like at this point, I can only pick one show to watch regularly, and that's it for the other show. Okay, AEW is getting my money. And for me, I just wish more AEW fans would get behind this shit. I mean, riddle me this. These are the same AEW fans. I know it's not all of them, but it's a good chunk of them. These are the same fans. Oh, thank God for Cody. Thank God for the Bucks. Thank God for Omega. Thank God for Jericho. Thank God for the Khan family, because we need a new alternative. We're so tired of the WWE bubblegum shit. They're insulting our intelligence. We're more cooler. We're better than what the WWE is constantly giving us every single week. We need better storylines. We need better matches and all this other shit. Okay, so you get this new fucking alternative. Here's your opportunity to fucking represent this brand for all of its fucking glory. There are legit people. AEW will reign supreme. AEW will be better than WWE. It's going to be the new number one promotion, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so when you see that a promotion like AEW decides they want to really differentiate from the other guys, and they have a match like this, right? Where for the most part, a lot of what went down in that match was very controlled. And I gotta tell you, if there's one thing that I've seen, a lot of hardcore matches in my time, like you, I'm sure Mish as well. And let's be honest, there was not enough blood in that match. There just was. Look, I hate to make a crude joke, right? Well, fellas, let's be real. Come on. Our women, when they get their cycles, they bleed a lot more than what Moxley and Omega did in that match. Can we be for real? Come on. Even the women that watch this match can fucking admit that, right? Ooh, honey, I bleed more than they do. Like, where's the blood, right? Okay. But for the most part, everything that was going on in there was very fucking controlled. Okay. But this is your moment where, hey, yes, it's matches like this and characters, performers like these guys that overall makes our brand kick ass. To what Nasty Nate is saying in the chat, they wanted rated G wrestling by Disney. Those fans, they probably did. Yes, and yes, Nate, some people, not all, but some people are a bit too oversensitive. They are. I mean, honestly, it's weird. It's like you want this new alternative, but, then you're very quick to throw the insults and all this. No. How do you think TNA ultimately, at its peak, got to the position that it had got to? Because they tried to think outside of the box. They tried to do everything they could to be different. And they succeeded for the longest period of time until they injected Bischoff and Hogan and a couple other fucking people in there, and it just ain't been the same ever since. Ring of Honor was fucking different. There was a time where Ring of Honor was like, oh my God, fucking A, Ring of Honor, man. Oh, fucking A, man. And they were doing shit that was unique. They were doing shit that made them stood out. So much so that WWE's like, we want that talent, we want that talent, we want that one, and give, ooh, like at a fucking candy store, right? So, I don't get that. I don't. I look at what a lot of these wrestling promotions do. This is the best analogy I can use, and this is the best advice I can give to any fan out there. Look at your favorite wrestling promotions and the episodes that they put out each week during a month leading up to a pay-per-view. Look at it as tracks, right? Oh, yeah, man, track 1. Oh, man, look at it like that. And then when you get to that big payoff, that pay-per-view, which is basically the end track, it basically puts the bookend on the entire album that you checked out, right? All right, so overall, that's how you kind of got to look at it. I'm not going to, and this would be my best advice to the newer fans, don't let one match from a promotion dictate your overall perception of a company. Don't let one match make or break whether or not you're going to continue to, support that promotion. If you are supporting that promotion, you're supporting that artist through or through. Good times, bad times, questionable decisions, you're there through and through. And when you have a match like what Omega and Moxley did, I don't give a fuck what Renee Young had said. Hey, look, not for nothing, but Renee Young, as a concerned wife, she probably had no idea that her man was going to be getting down and dirty like that. And she just was like, what the hell? Right? I'm sure she had a serious talking with him and she hasn't had it yet. I'm sure but you don't need to do that. I got that Fox money, right? She's like, what are you doing? I got the Fox money. You got the Con money. What are you doing? You don't need to do that. It's almost kind of like, I can just picture her pulling a fucking Rocky 4. And she's like Adrian to fucking Moxley's Rocky, you don't have nothing to prove, and Moxley is just like, I gotta do it for me though, Adrian, you know what I'm saying? I got to. I gotta take this fight. I don't want to go out there and look soft. It's all about me looking important, I gotta be something. I can just picture Moxley kind of just going in that direction or whatever, right? It's one thing if everybody wants to be a critic, right? That's one thing. But if there was ever a time to rally behind a promotion, if there was ever a time to be like, man, it's shit like this that makes our company kick ass. Fuck WWE. This is the shit right here. The real wrestling is right here, man. The real action is right here. It just really makes you wonder, like, what type of demographics exactly is making up these overall AEW fans? Like, are they religious people? Look, there's nothing wrong with that. But I asked that question because I know one of the Bucks or both of the Bucks, they're religious guys apparently or whatever, right? So, what exactly is right? I don't care about religion. At the end of the day, I care about 3 things. 1, am I entertained? 2, are you keeping me coming back for more? 3, is what you're doing with your matches, your storytelling, does everything make sense? Right? These are be consistent. That's all I want for fans to be. Be consistent. If you are going to crap on a particular thing, right? We want something new. We want a new alternative, blah this, blah that, right? Like, not everything can be bubblegum, power of the penis flips, and a whole bunch of other shit. Not everything can always be about that. You know, some people can question that match. Some people can question maybe the finish or, man, look, entertainment value, what those two men did out there, they got my mad respect. They got my props. I appreciate them going out there and giving it their all in the name of entertainment. And I hope that whatever blowback does come Tony Khan's way and everything, I hope he just shakes that shit off. I do not want to see people like Tony Khan and them, Cody and them, Jericho even. I don't want to see these people bend over for these people that got their, I want to say panties, but I'm going to be nice tonight. I don't want to see people that's going to get all bent out of shape. It's going to happen either way, but they don't need to let those people that got bent out of shape sway them from the direction that they're trying to go with the company, right? But it's the Khan family. It's the Khan family that you really got to pay attention to, because they've got so much money that's invested to it, the team that they own and a whole bunch of other shit. And, I just hope that they really know what they've gotten themselves into, and it's not a case where they prematurely try to rush to judgment and try to pass the buck off. And, this is your moment right here where you can really ride this momentum and use it to your fucking advantage and really further make the argument about why, hey, our fan base overall, this is why AEW exists when it comes to offering true alternatives from what, you're currently seeing from other promotions. We really try to do our best to have a wide variety of action and talent and matches and all this other shit. You get what I'm saying. But we'd be here all night talking about that match. I want to talk about some other stuff. Hey, before we continue, I definitely want to offer some thoughts and prayers, because I had saw this on Saturday night, and I was a little bit heartbroken to hear about this news. It was quite sad. And House of Glory, I'm sure you had heard about that promotion. I know you've heard about them over the years. There was a death that had happened to one of their own. And the young man's name is Matthew Travis. He had passed away over the weekend, and it was kind of fucked up how he went out. He was in his 20s, early 20s. I think the young man was 24, 25 years of age. I'm going off of memory right now, so if anything is a little bit off, you guys got to forgive me in advance, but you can feel free to come up behind me and clarify. But yeah, Matthew Travis, he passed away in the wee hours Saturday morning, and it was a freak accident that had went down. He basically was riding his bicycle, late at night and everything, and he was in his correct lane, because nowadays they got the bicycle lanes and all that, and there was this turn, and his side, he was protected because you're not allowed to make that turn, and there's like signs letting you know, hey, you cannot do an illegal turn here. And there was a dumpster truck that took that illegal turn and fucking hit him, and sadly he had died due to his injuries and everything. So yeah, that's really fucking rough, man. 25 years old, barely scratching the surface of his young adult life and everything, right? Still has the entire world ahead of him and everything. But yeah, he passed away, and House of Glory, looks like they're set to honor him at their upcoming weekend show. They announced earlier tonight that coming up on November the 16th, the No Limit show, it's gonna honor his memory. And yeah, he worked for several promotions, including House of Glory and GCW, and just everybody that's been jumping out there offering thoughts, support, and everything. It's been a beautiful thing to see. It's just, I always feel sad when the wrestling community comes together for, stuff like that, when somebody passes so tragically and so young at that. But at the same time, it's kind of beautiful to see, because whether you are aware of his work or you're aware of some of the promotions he's worked for, I do think it's beautiful in the sense that you have all of these people who, we're all connected. It's like no matter what the promotions are that we're checking out, no matter who the talents are, we're all coming together in times like this because we all got one thing in common, and that's our love for pro wrestling. That's what's binding us all together. And it's so cool. I think sometimes it's more cooler than going to a concert for a particular artist. It's like, I don't know what it is, but I've noticed over the years, and especially as long as I've been covering the shows and everything, I've noticed that, with wrestling, you can just get lost in just endless conversations with people, various topics, so many subchapters in wrestling, various promotions, talents, and just all that. And it's weird. It's cool. It's cool, but it's really been nice seeing everybody come together, offering their thoughts and prayers and all that. And yeah, that's just, when I heard that news initially, I just, wow. And definitely want to send my thoughts in particular to the friends, colleagues, family, of course. I know Shaheen, he was pretty devastated by that news, because a lot of these guys he knows and everything. And yeah, that 25, that is just, seriously, that is just, and it just goes to show you, it just goes to show you that no matter what, no matter when it comes to how many bicycle lanes we have, protected lanes, and, install these lights and all this, there's always going to be knucklehead drivers. Always, and I don't know what more could have been done in a situation like that. I would need to know a lot more about that accident, where it occurred, how those roads are set up over there, and what measures could be taken to make sure something like that never happens again. I don't know if that's a case where maybe you need to install some cameras that can record when people are taking illegal turns right there. That way you've got their license plate and all that, and you can send a fucking ticket to the mail and everything. I mean, fuck. That's what happens all the time whenever me or my girl, we decide we want to do a little bit of speeding. I mean, who hasn't done speeding before, right? Like, oh, I want to try to beat that light or whatever. And next thing you know, 2-3 weeks later, you get a mail. Oh shit. Like, what happened? They got me. Remember that day I was running late for work, and yeah, well, I had went over by about 15 miles, and yeah, they got me in black and white. God damn it, I gotta pay that off, right? So I don't know what more can be done. I definitely would need to know, photographs wise, like, how is it over there, and hopefully they're working on doing something. I mean, if they aren't, they need to be. They definitely need to be. One thing I do want to talk about on the show, and I thought this was very, very interesting. Actually, before I get to that, because we're going to go out strong, heads up, Survivor Series weekend. As soon as Survivor Series is over, too, this is really hurting all of us podcasters, but we're still going to come on after Survivor Series. But after Survivor Series is over, there is a new WWE Network series that's going to be premiering. You may have seen it today throughout your social media feeds. Stone Cold Steve Austin is back with the WWE Network in a huge way. He is bringing the Broken Skull Ranch series, basically. And he's sitting down going one-on-one. So essentially, it's the Stone Cold podcast, but it's under a different name and everything. And his first guest is none other than The Undertaker. He's going to be talking to him for 2 hours on this premiere episode. I'm looking forward to this. I know there was a period there where copyright trademarks was being applied for and everything for, I think it was the Dead Man podcast or something like that. I know Conrad was trying to do something with the Undertaker, because it was kind of looking as though he was gonna have him, and then Undertaker, I don't know, they got a whiff, and nah, man, nah, and they got fucking Taker to come on back and everything, and you're like, okay, well, good, right? But it would have been nice. It would have been nice that StarCast weekend. Oh my God, how could you not take advantage of that, right? But this has to be, I mean, over the years, we've seen and heard The Undertaker do little snippets here and there, right? But nothing of this magnitude. Almost kind of like Vince McMahon, when Vince McMahon was on the Stone Cold podcast. And we're like, hey, we never got Vince McMahon, quite like this. Yeah, you could maybe go with the HBO joint with Bob Costas and all that, but the joint he did with Stone Cold was like ranked fucking number 1, right? So to be able to see Undertaker, Stone Cold, they're going to cover pretty much Taker getting into the business, everything, even right on through his streak ending, all of that shit. I can't wait. I can't fucking wait to watch it. It's going to be interesting how that's going to go down, because that is literally going to be happening, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, hey Siri, when is WWE Survivor Series 2019?
Okay, I found this on the web for when is WWE Survivor.
All right, thank you. All right, so we got November 24th is when it's going to be going down. So let me look here. And Thanksgiving is, going into that new week. So, I don't know how I'm going to do that, because I know I'm going to cover Survivor Series, but I kind of want to immediately follow up as soon as the broadcast is over, watch that Taker special, and then do a late night review. Maybe I'll do something like that. I don't know yet. I'm actually supposed to be taking off that Wednesday, which is Thanksgiving Eve technically, but shit, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna get that much sleep that night if I do decide I want to watch it. But I haven't been that like for a network special, a network original special at that, in quite a long time. So I'm looking forward to seeing those two legends sit down and talk about Taker's historic career. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. But like I said, the other podcasters, man, that's going to be hurting them, man. That is going to be hurting them big time. So looking forward to that. And also, let's end it on this note for now, because we are going to be coming back on Wednesday night. I'll end it on this note, and then we'll pretty much be wrapping it up. I'll give some shout outs and all that. So how many of you all have heard of the pro wrestler by the name of Chasen Rance? His name should sound a little familiar to you guys. Chasen Rance used to be the ex-boyfriend of Santana Garrett, who is now signed with the WWE and everything. And I believe he is currently dating a pro wrestler by the name of Amber Nova. Now be careful, because when you look up Amber Nova in a Bing or Google search, you're going to see a voluptuous, very pretty, but a voluptuous plus size model. That's not her. When you actually look up Amber Nova's wrestling profile, you can see who she is. And if you still kind of doubt and you're like, man, she's picked up some weight, you can actually find out the last little bit of her wrestling history as far as what shows she's been on and everything. Not that fast can somebody gain all that weight. So there's two Amber Novas is my point. So you got to be careful when you're going about and you're looking her up online and everything. But the pro wrestler Amber Nova, he is apparently with now, or at this point probably no longer with, now that she knows that he likes to what's the right word, how can we say it in a way where it's kind of nice, let's put it to you this way. What gets his jollies off is going into the men's room for action as opposed to going into the women's room. I think that's the best way we can kind of summarize it. Hey, not hating, not throwing shade, just being for real, right? All right, so let's rewind it here, right? So this guy's pro wrestler, and his name should sound familiar to you guys, because aside from that, he was involved in a incident that had happened with Kenny Omega's promotion from summer of last year. And if you all recall, it was him and another guy. They were wrestling each other on Kenny Omega's joint. And somebody, I don't know who it was, but they were like, wait a minute. Why the fuck are these two guys wrestling? Why were they given the green light to wrestle on Kenny Omega's show? Shit, the chasing dude, he got a fucking charge for, God damn it, what was the charge he got? Matter of fact, I got the bullet points. I got the bullet points right here for his shit here. He's a registered sex offender. And then the other guy that he was facing had copped to a no contest plea to Florida's equivalent, what's Florida's equivalent to statutory rape, and text messages showing that he had admitted to some type of domestic abuse that had happened a couple of years prior to that. So these were, two bad hombres, right? Two bad hombres, right? But home in on my man Chasen. Home in on him, right? Okay, so he hits up this porn star by the name of Kelly Cox. And for those of you that are bisexual, or sometimes you like your women with extra long doings, nothing wrong with that, not hating, not passing judgment. Everybody's got their freaky shit. You ask me what my freaky shit is? Honestly, I like a woman with, our Patreon private chat is freaky as shit too, because Justin usually posts some nice, yummy fucking pictures of women in there. But for me, I like a little bit of the S&M shit. And what I mean by that, I like my women with some nice leather boots. Got the nice fucking spikes in them bitches, right? Oh, I like that. Yeah. I like that. And pretty feet. You can call me Tony Atlas if you want, but I also like the pretty feet. But no, there's a porn actress by the name of Kelly Cox. And for those of you that maybe want to do some research, Kelly, Kallie, Cox, all K's. Make sure you put 3 X's in there. She's a TS, transsexual, porn actress. So she offers escort services, okay? And she did some interacting with this guy, and boy, I tell you, this guy was really trying to get himself over. He was. So her tweets, she put this out on, what was it? What's today? It's the 12th now. She posted this on the 9th, okay? So basically, weekend. So we all know I offer adult companionship services. This pro wrestler named Chasen Rance, who works for Team Vision Dojo and dates Amber Nova, went and set up an appointment with me last night just to try and cancel once I got there, and then threatened to have me killed. And you could see some of the text message exchanges that, she's having with him. She's like, hey, what's up? And he's like, not much. What's up with you, baby? She's like, I'm Chasen. How are you? And, he's like, I'm smart enough to avoid a woman beater, and she's like, don't worry. Wait a minute, hang on. Yeah, it was really weird, the message exchange here. Hang on. Hey, I'm doing well. Nice to meet you, Chasen. So are you looking for an in call? And he goes, it's nice to meet you too, but I'm looking for an out call, hun. And she says to him, oh, okay, I can do an out call. My out call donations are more. Now let's pause right there. I know we got some people, but Lee, I don't know what an in call and an out call is, my friend. I know about these escorts. They provide some type of service. I guess they will feed you or something, but I don't know what we mean by in-call and out-call. Could you elaborate more? Curious minds want to know. So, when in this case, this escort is saying, so are you looking for an in-call? So in-call is basically you come to the escort, right? The escort is hosting they're in-call. They are providing in-call services. So you come to them. If you want for the escort to come to you to provide services, then that is considered a out-call. Thus, they are going out of their way right? Their base of operations, their home or hotel, whatever, they are coming to you, all right? Pussy's coming to you. So she tells him, okay, well, I'm going to charge more, whatever. And this is weird. She also says something like, I just did a wrestling porn DVD because apparently he reveals to her, hey, I'm a pro wrestler, right? And she's like, hey, what a fucking coincidence. What a small world. I just did a wrestling porn DVD. You're a pro wrestler. What's your stage name? And so he shows this picture of himself, surrounded by all of these kids with the name of the fucking promotion right behind him and everything. And he's saying something like, oh, you can bring it over tonight and we can watch it, right? So he wants her, I'll respect her, I'll call her her. So he wants her to bring the porn over so they can get off together and everything. Okay, cool. So it looked as though everything was gonna be going down and everything, and apparently when she gets there, now, sadly for these escorts, this is a common practice. This is a common practice where, the escort in question that is getting ready to provide these services does the outcall, and then for whatever respected reason, at the last fucking minute, the person that is supposed to be paying for these services gets cold feet, right? Leaves that person, out there hanging, or, oh, fuck, my girlfriend's home. And I thought for sure I was going to have the place for 5 more hours so I can fucking plow out, or whatever, right? So she says to him, you're afraid of me, plain and simple. Or rather, wait a minute. He says to her, you are afraid of me, plain and simple. She comes right back. I'm smart enough to avoid a woman beater. He comes right back. Don't worry, I gave your information to my good friend Richie. He'll be taking care of you pretty soon. She says, and that means nothing to me. Cool, I just reported you to the cops for hiring a hitman to kill someone. That's a felony. And that means nothing to me, or whatever, right? So she actually reports him, his Twitter account, all that. Oh, yeah. You recorded the cops on me so fast. Ha ha ha. What a joke. This is him. And she also poses up another follow-up message. Says Jason Ryan, who works for Team Vision Dojo, also decided to call me derogatory slurs while threatening to beat me, a woman, to death. I mean, the guy has a record of molesting children and of beating women, so of course I'm going to call him out on the threats. And she posts his pictures of his arrest record and all of this shit. So homegirl did her fucking research on this guy, and she even finds the article about Kenny Omega allowing him and a couple other people to wrestle for his CEO New Japan Pro Wrestling event and everything. And yeah, and she follows up with him and says something. Actually, no. You gotta forgive me because it's kind of weird the way they got the text fucking set up. So, okay, so white is hers. All right, and so he comes right back. And just to kind of piece this all together, she comes back at him and says, people like you are the reason why the Pulse nightclub got shot up. And he comes right back, laugh out loud. No, shootings like that happen because of insecure men who can't deal with their own sexual identity, their sexuality, right? So everything pretty much ends with her basically saying, so if I end up dead or hurt, then all of you all know it was Chasen Rance that did it, because he's already shown that he's a woman beating piece of shit. Oh, please retweet this, treat it like wildfire. Toxic guys like him need to be either locked up or ran out of entertainment. And that's pretty much where things had ended with that. I haven't done a follow-up since on what's going on. Now, what I can tell you in real time is with regards to his Twitter activity and shit, his Twitter account is still up and everything. He did put up some type of a reply or whatever. So one thing he's saying is, it's not my text. That's the first thing he's saying. He's saying it's not my text. don't go there, brother, cause push come to shove, man. That cell phone, don't go there, man. Please don't go there. All right, so he had a rebuttal. I have been receiving unsolicited pizzas and escorts at my house now on a regular basis for a few months. The other night, 2 pizza deliveries and 2 escorts showed up at the same time. I told them all I didn't order anything and I was sorry they'd been roped into an immature prank. I was half asleep when I came downstairs, and Callie was very nice at the door. She showed me the number 321. I have a 407. And the messages, the person spelled my name wrong as well. I told her it wasn't me. I have never ordered an escort. After she left, I went back to bed. I believe she continued to talk to this person via text, and that's where the threat came. As for Teddy Hart, 4 years ago today, Teddy came to stay with me briefly with his girlfriend Samantha. They trained at my facility, but after their split, she trained elsewhere. I had not seen her in over 3 months prior to her disappearance. I spoke with Sam's sister and did anything I could to help. I gave her the number of the person I saw her training with and told her if she needed anything else, she could contact me. I hope Sam is found alive and well soon. Okay. As for customized wrestling matches and chloroform, I'm just learning these kind of custom matches. I was called by one of the custom companies and was told about others who do videos like that. Every custom I've done, whatever. 11 years ago, I made a horrible mistake. A mistake that ruined my career and ruined my life. A mistake I have nobody to blame but for myself. A mistake for which I will forever be hated and forever hate myself. Knowing it's impossible to achieve my dream, what makes me happy is helping others achieve their dreams. Having ruined my own career, I work extremely hard to help others further their careers, and I hope the mistakes I've made are life lessons so they can learn from. That is why I continue to train wrestlers, and I ask that any hostility be directed at me and solely me. My students should be blamed for a disgusting act I committed for which I am extremely remorseful. Okay, well, you know what? I appreciate him taking responsibility from that standpoint. I do. However, here's the thing. Okay, so he wants to say, hey, that's not my phone number, right? So are we going to say that with regards to a transsexual escort, are we going to say that she just didn't have anything better to do? And, you know, yeah, Beth, I can see the comments. Yeah. So are we going to say something along the lines of, all right, let me back up a second. Because this is where I kind of have a little bit of concern here. Why would a transsexual escort just randomly these photos, right? Is it possible somebody was pulling a bad prank on this guy? It's possible, but there are new ways now you can remain safe when you're trying to hook up with people. I mean, take your pick, whether it's Tinder, whether it is, oh God, what's another one that's out there? I know you got Tinder. Oh, Grindr, right? Yeah, you got Grindr. What's another one? You got so many fucking apps that's out there. You like lose track of the fucking shit. But my point is, there are also apps where you can burn a phone number, right? So like there are literally apps you can either get a week trial, whatever, right? There's apps that you can download where one time you'll have to sync that respected phone app up with your actual line, and then you'll be able to pick what area codes. Okay, what do you want your ghost number to be? What's your spoof number? What's your area code that you want for it? And then you can choose that spoof number. And then after you choose that spoof number, okay, all right, I'm going to run with that. And then from that point forward, every time you open up that app, You can send people text messages. You can also call them. You can send video content, all of that shit, right? So there are ways that you can get around not actually using your legit phone number and use a spoof number to be able to make whatever arrangements that you want to make. Okay. Now, if you're asking me straight up with regards to, well, Lee, what's your 2 cents from a distance? My 2 cents from a distance is this. I think he actually did try to get the services of the escort, but I think he got cold feet. For whatever respective reason, he got cold feet. Whether it was a case where he just decided, I don't feel like it tonight. I already got my jollies off and I'm good to go. I don't need anything else. I got my load off. I'm happy. Whatever, insert whatever reason, but it could be cold feet, whatever. But I kind of feel as though maybe he did do it. Now, why would he not man up to it? Some of you may say. Well, look, for a person that supposedly is trying very hard to redeem themselves and change their life for the better and want to be more of a positive impact on their communities and all that, well, don't you think that just by process of elimination, the last thing they want to do is put themselves in a position where, oh my God, now I've got this out, right? Bad enough, the story that came out some years ago, and I've been trying to rebuild my image since. But now I've got this, right? And, for some people, I know it's kind of weird, but for some people in 2019 and beyond, hey, if you're gay, you're bisexual, like, it's cool. Like, you're more accepted than ever now. It's all right. But for some people, they still want to try to keep that close to the vest because they're not really sure how they're going to be accepted. They don't want to face any ridicule. They don't want to face harassment, you name it, right? So for some people, they still, in the hush, keep it on the low and everything like that. So, it's very well possible that on the one hand, it's very well possible that he used a spoof number, was trying to get a hold of some services and got cold feet at the last fucking minute. That's very well possible. For me to buy into the whole idea of someone that just randomly selects his photo, randomly goes with his name and his bio and all this other shit, man, somebody's really, really, really got to be hating your fucking guts to come at you like that, right? I mean, somebody's really got to have it in for you. So, it's kind of one of those things where, she needs to just quietly let it go, let it ride off into the sunset. And, you sadly don't have any more proof. I find it interesting, though, that he says he did speak with her, told her she had the wrong address and all this other shit, and then yet she shows the exchanges that she had, with him just shortly after that or whatever. It's weird, but it's not a uncommon practice. If you watch enough news reports and all that other shit, you'll see a lot of times that there's people in the escort business, prostitution and all that they're supposed to meet up with people. Perfect example, here in the nation's capital in DC, 2019 alone had saw in the district a decent amount of transsexuals that were killed. And some of the transsexuals that were killed because, bad deals gone wrong. Some were supposed to meet a client at a hotel. They got killed. Others were maybe on their way to a client, got killed in the streets or whatever like that. And people have no idea. It's very, very dangerous what they do. Now, some people would say, well, fuck, it's so dangerous. Why the fuck do they continue to? Well, when you're constantly ridiculed, when you're made fun of, when you have a college educated background, like some of these people, one of my friends, one of my best friends, who I used to work with, for a good number of years. She recently had moved to Colorado, I think, or Ohio. I want to say it's Ohio, actually. Sweetheart, smart as hell, college educated, man, and she knows her fucking sports. She can talk to you about hockey and all kinds of shit. And, I remember one day we were just kicking back and we were talking, and she told me one day, she said, man, I'm really blessed that I was able to find the jobs that I've been able to find all these years, even, working with you guys, because if it wasn't for this job and the other jobs that I've had, Lord knows, I probably would have gone into prostitution most likely, because not everybody is accepting of transgendered individuals. Look at us. They look at us as freaks. They don't even want to try to understand us, and all that. And I'm not trying to justify their lifestyle, but I think you guys can definitely understand that, okay, they want to live a certain life that they want to live. Some people are not as accepting as most people are in our country. I mean, we can at least agree on that point, right? It's okay to disagree, but we can definitely all agree on that point. So, yeah, it's dangerous, that type of work that they go in and everything. And, depending on how good your looks are, you can, either be like Kelly Cox and, you could be a fucking high roller and be, making yourself some pretty good money also in the adult business, adult film industry and everything, or it's all about your looks and everything, right? So for some transgenders, it's their looks and the size of their member, that really gets things. Let's be honest, you got to, right? So it's a delicate situation right there, but he's saying it's a spoof number. I've told you how you can do it, so that's kind of up to you guys to kind of wrap your brain around. Hey, I want to get into some Patreon shout outs. And yes, Beth Phoenix, I can see all the comments. I've been interacting with people long before you got in the chat. I was interacting with Johnny there. Nasty Nate was interacting with Mish. Shout out to Austie. Nasty Nate, he has one comment that's hidden. He said something along the lines of, and I don't know why that was hidden, Impact and Ken Shamrock has sunk to new lows, hiring spot fighting Joey Ryan and his penis flip. Boy, don't even get me started on that. I'm so not fucking... I'm done with that. I talked about that last week. I ain't got nothing else to say about that damn shit, man. Look, I still like Impact Wrestling. I like what they've been doing right now. I think they've been tearing it up on Access TV so far. Find it kind of weird, though, that the ratings still not available. I've been looking for the ratings the past couple of weeks now for these shows, and they still ain't put these bad boys out there, so I don't know what's going on with that. Get into some Patreon shout-outs, and we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up, because we're getting ready to come on back Wednesday night covering AEW and NXT and everything. Patreon.com/RCWR show. You guys can check out bonus audio, video content, great majority of which you won't be able to find anywhere else. We got some really awesome Patreons, like my brother-in-arms, Anthony Missionary Thomas, Wrestling Soup. And we also got Justin Ripstock. Shout out to Justin. Freddie, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you've been well. Shout out to John Krauser, now in the hiring process of getting his Brain Freak Live Holiday edition together and everything. So looking forward to promoting that as soon as he's got those dates down and everything. Also, shout out to Michael Wolf, John Davis, Joe Raymond Jr., Sean Kenter, Tony Bing Gaming, one of the very latest in all things Marvel video games, man. Tony Bing, he's your man. Check it out. Speaking of video games, how many of you guys are excited for the new upcoming WWE Supercard Season 6. It's going to be premiering this Wednesday. I'm definitely ecstatic. I'm looking forward to that. Reminds me, I got to load up some WWE Supercard again as well. Let's see who else we got here. Not Supercard, but WWE 2K20. I got to load that up again. I haven't done anything since I did like the initial roster breakdown. And now that I've allowed enough time for the game patch to do its thing and all that other shit, I'm kind of curious now. What else we got? Any other shout outs I need to get into? Justin, Sean, Tony, Freddie, Michael. Yeah, we got you guys. I don't think I'm missing anybody else. It seems like I'm missing somebody else in there, but I don't think I am. Yeah. Oh, sponsors. That's what I'm forgetting. We got some sponsors we need to shout out. Shout out to LeafyAssets.com. Appreciate them. If you're a real estate investor or entrepreneur, they can help protect your assets strategically and help grow your business. Check them out. LeafyAssets.com, proud sponsor of the RCWR show. SHEABoo.com for all natural, best skincare products, all made from natural organic oils and shea butter. Truly the best vegan skincare products. Check them out. SHEABoo.com. President Evil, just days before the November midterm elections, 3 girls are stalked by a deranged killer dressed as the President of the United States. Check out the trailer, buy the movie on Amazon.com. President Evil. Also, shout out to my good friends over at IamCanary.com. Life, as you guys know, can be unpredictable. Better to be prepared for any situation than be sorry. Even if you can't do it yourself, I Am Canary can. They have created a product that will help anyone send a crucially important message in case of an emergency or an accident in life. Great affordable plans with more than 12,000 registered users since 2018. Check them out, IamCanary.com. We're also brought to you in part by StreakFreeXL.com. Clean your stove, countertops, mirrors, windows, your car, you name it. No smudges, no streaks. Bada boom, bada bang. Spick and span. StreakFreeXL.com. For you lovers of CBD products, check out CBD BioCare 360. Use the code TONY. You spell that TOUNI. Get 5% off your order. You want gummies. You want capsules, you want balms, you want creams. Maybe you need some products for your pets. They got it all. Check them out. CBDBioCare360.com. Again, CBDBioCare360.com. Check them out. And we got a couple of other new sponsors I want to give some shout outs to. These are basically one-offs, but I do want to acknowledge these guys. Because, man, we got hit big time over the weekend with a couple of cats, and it was, oh man, I felt like I was getting ready to hit DJ Khaled there for a second. And another one, shout out to Walkie Paws. Walkie Paws is a great company based out in the Alexandria, Virginia area, servicing the DC metropolitan area. Pet lovers in the DMV, listen up. If you are looking for some really cool pet clothing stuff, pet apparels, check them out. Check out Walkie Paws. They're more than just a clothing brand, as their mission is to bring awareness to adoption shops and animal abuse through their apparels. 10% of each sale, get this, is donated to food that is going to the shelters to help out those animals that are in need. So check them out. Another cool thing I like about these guys, Walkie Paws, for 3 consecutive years now, they have successfully maintained a 5-star rating and review on Yelp and on Google. They also provide dog sitting and dog walking services as well. If you guys want to check them out, walkiepaws.com. And if you want to check out that apparel section where you can help them out with the food and all that for the pets, you can just, once you're on that website, go click on there's a little banner that says visit their apparel store. Click on that and it'll take you right over there. While we're talking about pets, the holidays are right around the corner. I want you guys to check out the Petting Corner, because when it comes to your pets, come on, man. Look, you want the best for them, right? Whether it comes to novelty items, toys, fashion, Petting Corner, that's your one place stop. Go there. Man, they got some really cool stuff over there. You will just be able to spoil the hell out of your pets, man. They got bowls, pet grooming products, leashes, hair trimmers. They even got sport jerseys. I BS you not. They got sport jerseys. I looked at one joint for the Dallas Cowboys and I said, damn, Maggie would look good in that. And my girl goes, nah, she's pushing a Redskin jersey. I said, nah, man, she's like her daddy. She's going to push Cowboys. He's like, nah. Redskins. Like, okay, we'll see. So check them out, the Petting Corner. Love those guys. Holidays right around the corner. You need some gift ideas. A couple places that you can check out right there. And also, I got to give a shout out to my man, and I got to wrap it up by promoting this guy because his website, I was on it. He's really fucking cool as shit. You guys know how much I love to travel. And if you are in a position where you're able to travel, maybe you need some ideas. Maybe you need to figure out, okay, how can I do my best to stay within my travel budget? Or I need some travel ideas on where to go. Or maybe you need some travel tips, right? Whether you're planning a destination getaway, honeymoon, vacation, go check out worldtravelbucketlist.net. The site is operated by Christopher Heredea. And this guy is constantly traveling, And he's got a great website. I mean, the load up time on that site, I was very impressed. And the navigation, it's with ease. He's got awesome pictures. He's got articles, solo trip ideas, family trip ideas, safety tips. He covers a lot over there on his website. So check him out, worldtravelbucketlist.net. Again, worldtravelbucketlist.net. We appreciate all of these sponsors and our Patreon members for this edition of the RCWR show. So on that note, that is going to do it. We will be back. I'm on basically a 36 something plus hour break. We'll be back. We'll be talking NXT. We'll be talking AEW. We'll also be talking MLW. We'll be talking some Ring of Honor. I like to switch it up on those Wednesday shows, because it's like, I love the Wednesday shows because now that I'm in this position where, because when you think about it, when we go off the air Monday nights, Tuesday is Impact. So sadly, I'm not doing an Impact show. You can forget that. I'll cover a pay-per-view from them, but I'm not doing an Impact show. I'm not doing that just yet. I am interested in somebody doing a show covering Impact, though. So there's a couple of people on my balling. But it's nice to do the Wednesday show because on top of talking about NXT and AEW, I can also talk about this week's Impact and a couple of other things and all that. So check that out when you guys get an opportunity. It's something we've been kind of implementing, really like off and on for the longest, but I've really been trying to push for it more because I love what I've been seeing, particularly from MLW. ROH still definitely has its bright spots and everything. And I owe you guys the talk of NWA because I have yet to talk about NWA. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well. Also, make sure you check out AMC these next 2 weeks. There are only 2 episodes of The Walking Dead left this season. And I can't stress it enough. This past Sunday's episode was killer fucking good. Killer. And I get to give an honorable nod to this week's Talking Dead, this past week's Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick. He had comedian Sinbad on. And I love Sinbad. Sinbad has always been a great comedian. Been involved in some shitty projects over the years, but overall he's a fantastic comedian. And when I first saw him on Talking Dead this past weekend, I was like, yeah, he ain't really no Walking Dead fan. What the hell is he going to tell me? But dude knows his shit. I was thoroughly impressed. I got to say, of all the Talking Dead episodes this season, that was really, really fucking good. And I would love it if he can keep on coming back. He actually did really, really good. You guys will definitely be impressed for you guys that remember Sinbad, the comedian. And I can't believe we almost forgot. Because I don't think I've mentioned it yet. If I did, forgive me, old man age. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon. It feels like I really didn't get a chance to say anything about that because I know when the news initially broke out, I did say a little something on Twitter, but I don't really think I've truly acknowledged his passing since the news had initially broke. That sucks. I saw that they did the funeral already. David Letterman was there. Who else was there? Ice Cube was there. One of the Wayans brothers, if not both of them, were there. I mean, it was like a who's who of people that were there. It was very nice, the touching words that everybody had to say and everything at the services for him. And he's definitely going to be missed. You know, I kind of smile because I get to say, well, at least I finally got to see the man in action, doing his one-man stand-up comedy. I never laughed so hard in my life. If I were to die tomorrow, you know, for me, that's like one of my all-time favorite moments, because since I was a kid, all the way up to now, as far as most hysterical, funny moments, that night that I went to DC Improv to see his comedy, yeah, I never laughed so hard, non-stop, mind you, at that, and all of my freaking life. And I had front row seats. I could just literally reach out, grab his pants leg. Like, that's how fucking close I was to him and everything. If they would have allowed us to take pictures, I'd have fucking took a picture of him while he was right there on the stage and everything, or freaking record him and then flip it back on me and Tams and our friends that were there to see him as well. But yeah, it was a great fucking time. I'm glad I got to see him, and won't be another like him. Truly, organically, naturally, a very funny man. A very funny man. You know, right up there with a Bernie Mac, right up there with a Charlie Murphy, right up there with a Red Fox, Paul Mooney. You know, so that's a great one, man. That's a great one that we had lost, man. But you know what? You kind of take a little bit of comfort, say, you know, hey, 77, right? 77. You know, he lived a nice, long, fruitful life. You know, not too shabby, not too shabby. All right, guys, that is going to do it. Appreciate you guys that had checked out the stream live. Appreciate those of you that's going to be checking out the show on demand and on the downloads. I'm wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use keywords, the RCWR show. Good night, good morning.